You're such an asshole.
Fine. I've been meaning, this has been in the back of my head, and then it came to the front of the head. And I'm like, oh, I should do that so it never stays in the back of my head again and never has to make the transfer or the travel up to the front of my head. It's like, no, I did that one. So when I was, why am I not coming in? Hang on. Checky check. Oh, there it is. So I was a young kid going to parochial school, which means Nazi concentration camp Christian school. They're all burning in hell because you're 5 years old and you don't believe in the pedophilia, long-haired hippie-looking guy on the cross. Like, why should I? I don't know that guy. Don't talk to strangers, but trust this guy over here. That was, and if you don't, this one guy who looks like he came out of a van, and not a good van either. Yeah, you should trust that one, but don't take candy from strangers. And as a first, second, third grade boy, you ask some common sense questions like, why? I don't get it. Wait, all the sin in the world? What? So, the crucifixion was so painful that was the equivalent to all the sin in the world he took out, then he went to hell. What, for all future human beings? I square that for me. How does that mean? What about the Indians? Not well, I guess the East Indians too. Thinking more of the American Indians. Well, they didn't know who Jesus was. They're across 2 oceans, no matter which way you went. 3 if you went one. Yeah, you got to go through the Atlantic. And then they always had an answer. They always like, oh, it was always circular reference. And then the ultimate, well, you'll burn in hell if you disagree with me. Oh, yeah, this is a great club you got going on here. But it got me hip to like, I don't trust the adults, which is good. You shouldn't trust the adults. So I don't trust the adults. And there's always been, especially as you get older, you start to realize just how much adults lie. The adults lie. And it's one thing if it's like, I don't know, used car salesman, but when it comes to policy and politicians, especially, it's like, look, you're in charge of a civilization or a group of people here. You have a constituency that you should, long term make the best decisions all the time. And especially in economics, there's, oh, you got to look out about that. Oh my goodness, negative externalities. Oh God, they pounded that down into our heads. No, I think I had at least 3 classes. Oh, negative externalities. They're like, what's so important? Like, am I going to get a job calculating this? What are you talking? All it was leftists saying like, oh, well, we didn't factor in all the real damages caused by evil corporations. This is when corporations were evil, by the way. Now they're like, oh my God, let me suck your gay dick and put flags on everything. What month is it? Here we go. We're that people's month. Buy our shit, everybody. We're Target. This is back when the corporations were evil. Why? Because they were corporations. Talk to Tim Button, whatever the guy's name was. That idea that it's real. Yeah, there's costs are outside the normal operation, but the economists say, oh, we could actually put a dollar price on this and move supply and demand charts. I should have picked up on it. This is why none of you are employed. But one canard, and that's what this is. It's a canard, a lie that they keep telling you, just, oh my God, declining populations. Oh, nosies, Japan is having a declining population. Oh, nosies, the South Koreans too. Oh, nosy, the Chinese. Well, you saw that one coming because the communists killed all the females. The one-child policy. There you go. That makes sense. Great going, Mao Zedong. You know exactly what you're doing, you trust fund baby putz. And everyone just stops. Oh no, the populations are declining. I'm like, no, why? Why is it if a population is declining? Now, if it gets wiped out, yeah, due to war or famine or the bubonic plague, I get it. But people not having kids voluntarily, a population going into decline is not necessarily a bad thing. And it was one of those things where you just said that, well, why is that bad? I mean, it's not good either, but what did, oh no, number go down. Number go up. Like, why? So let me explain to you why it doesn't matter. The population goes down. Okay, so there's less people than there was before. That means you're just having less people. People weren't murdered. People weren't dying of the plague. There's just less people now in this area of land. And that means they're the ones in charge of it down the road. People say, oh, but then GDP will go down. Well, if GDP per capita isn't going down, it doesn't matter what nominal GDP does. It's what are they producing per person? Economies can shrink, population can shrink, as long as the GDP, the amount of stuff produced per person, goes up or maintains itself. And what would happen, a lot of you are concerned, but if there's less people, I don't know, there's less people. But then some of the buildings won't be used. Yeah, some of the buildings probably have to be torn down or mothballed or something. One thing let me throw this at you. Have you ever thought that it might be a good thing? Let's say you had this happened. I'll give you a perfect example. I don't have to give you a hypothetical example. I'll give you a real example. I got a buddy. He is the only child in his generation out of 4, 3 aunts and uncles, and then his mom, or maybe 5 aunts and uncles. But on his dad's side and his mom's side, they had siblings. So my friend had aunts and uncles, 4 or 5 of them. None of them had kids. Okay. Huge decrease in the population. I mean, from one generation to the next, they went from 5 or 6, 7, if you include the parents, down to 1. That's what is that? 17. That's a 83% drop. It's a huge drop in the. Guess who gets all the money? Guess who's got a huge ass inheritance? And if you scale that up to a national level, okay, oh no, from one generation to the next, there was 20% less, which as far as I could tell, so they got 20% more housing. They got 20% more cars. They got 20% more money. I mean, the buildings and the assets didn't go. So what? More and more people get a cottage up north. More and more people could go, and I don't know where do you go south for winter? Isn't the island all more or less the same climate? But in the United States, oh no, the population went down by 30%. So like Florida condos are going for what? A bunch of the old people died off, and now we could all buy a Florida condo for affordable prices and maintain it. Look, all these generations of people built up all this infrastructure. So now, admittedly, it's got to be maintained, but all of a sudden we all own 2 houses and we don't have to pay more adjusted for inflation. In other words, the generation afterwards inherits all the wealth of the people before. I mean, if your farmer population went down by 70% and the overall population only went down by 20, okay, now there's not enough food. I can understand that, but so I just get all these classic cars. I go, oh no, my boomer parents died. They took all of the 3 houses with them. And let's hypothetically say, I know this wouldn't happen in the real world, but there were no reverse mortgages on it. I know. Oh, well, darn, you're a young person with 3 houses. Now, you would say, but Cappy, you finally understand. You're like, yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter. As long as we produce the same or more GDP per capita when the lights are on and we can maintain the infrastructure, it's fine. So then why do they keep pushing? Oh, no, our population is declining. We got to get the immigrants in here. That's Democrats. They just want to be voted in forever so they don't have to work. They were masturbating to Dianne Feinstein. Not necessarily her physically because she was a repulsively ugly woman, but the idea they could live that long and not have to work a real job while selling generations of people into poverty and slavery and demise. But you'll hear it, and they'll even tell you, and I think they're that tone deaf to how they're exposing their hands. The reason, we got to get more young people in here. And I say, well, why? And they'll say, well, because we need someone to pay for Social Security. See, if we don't have more young, we have a retirement system. Our system requires young people to pay for the old people. I have a question. Yes, you, sir, in the back. And this is the question. Yes. What about the Indians in America? Are they all damned to hell? They didn't even have a shot to know Jesus Christ. You're going to burn in hell with them, you heretic or whatever 4-year-old boy asking stupid questions. Get out of here. I have a question. What if you didn't have a welfare state? What if we didn't have Social Security? What if you didn't have Medicare and Medicaid and everyone paid for themselves? And now you see the real reason why they're in a panic about declining populations. If you paid, sit down, if everyone paid for themselves and were independent like we used to in the before time, if everyone saved enough for their own retirement and didn't require on literally enslaving future generations to do so, if you just saved up enough, it wouldn't matter what the population is next year, 10 years from now, 100 years from now, because there's no government program that needs funding off the back end of the enslavement of younger generations. Oh, by the way, Zoomers and millennials, y'all voted for more enslavement. You're paying. I'm upset I had to pay for the boomers. So like 15% of my paycheck goes to the boomers. 15% of your paycheck's coming to me because you voted Democrat. For once, young, stupid people get to pay the price. But what if, sit down, what if we didn't have a government financed retirement system? What if you all had to take care of it yourselves like strong, independent people do? Then it wouldn't matter. We wouldn't have to import immigrants. We would, oh my God, anyone. What about those criminal people over there that set fire to things? Bring them in. We don't want to work. We're Democrats. We're boomers. We don't want to actually work. Yeah, won't the country go away? But no, it doesn't matter. There's no such thing as good. Just as long as we don't have to work, I need my Social Security. So don't tell me declining populations or the declining birth rate is a crisis. It's not. It never was. It never will be. But if you are running a Ponzi scheme, retirement system, or any other kind of system that requires enslaving your future generations or indebting them or putting off more money, blah, 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 all those forms are all enslavement. You're just forcing your expenses on future generations. If you get rid of that, then it doesn't matter if there's more or less people the year after or the year before. And just this, I think what it is, let me give you another example. I did this in my economics class. Is it good when the stock market goes up? I'm asking young people this in my economics class, and they're all like, yeah. Why? Because they're stupid idiots. They didn't have me as an economics teacher before that. I say, why is that good for you guys? Well, I don't know. It's good for the economy, typical American public education. It goes up, number go up, economy good. I said, well, won't that make it more expensive for you when you want to buy stocks? You don't want the stock market going up. In theory, it won't work this way, but in theory, everyone right now, unless you're retiring tomorrow, all of you should be cheering the stock market to collapse down to like 1. The S&P 500 goes from whatever it is now, 4,000, whatever, goes down to 1, and you buy up and load up. Like, would you be happy if houses went down to $1? Would that make you happy? You're damn right it would. Then you buy. Then you want it to stay down at 1 so you can buy more. And then the day before you retire, it goes up to 87 trillion. You sell, and then you retire the next day. That's how it worked in the perfect world. But the idea that prices going up on anything is kind of more or less bad unless you're the one selling them. Like boomers should be cheering for higher prices right now. Everybody else should be cheering for low prices. And it's that counterintuitive where it's like, oh no, the population is going down. In times past, maybe that was bad. Oh, there's a disease, there was war, there was famine. But now it's just like, nah, women are too fat to fuck. We don't want to have sex. Oh, I'm so. All the boys are limp-wristed pussy Democrats who can't get it. Oh, wait, oh. All the women are strong, don't need no one. Oh my God, ew, children grow. Why can't I have a kid? I need to freeze my eggs. That's just choice. People don't want to have. That's a choice. It's not like, a woman had 9 kids and 8 bought it due to the the gout or whatever the hell, the disease, the hard times. People are consciously not having kids now. That's a choice, and that's fine. And so I think it's still a negative. Oh no, the populations are crying. It's perfectly fine. It's all right. Oh no, the stock market dropped 1,000 points. I'd be like, yes, sir, it did. Yes, it did indeed. Oh no, housing came down by 50%. Hang on, I wonder what happened to housing prices. Housing price index. Let me take a look. Oh, I don't. I'll go look it up. Oh, never mind. I thought housing went down. It didn't. It went back up. It went down a little bit and then it went back up. You Zoomers and millennials should vote for more free money. You should vote for that. So you should get more stimmy tech checks from Trump. Get pissed off that he gave it to you. Just, man, more money printer. Why is housing so expensive? You did get 2 or 3 classes between high school and college in economics, right? You got a college degree. Okay, just want to make sure. So there you go. Link below, I have a link to my book called Enjoy the Decline. There you go. You want to cheer on the collapse. Let's go to the super chats if we have any. We have 5 here. Pie, $5. Cappy, I ain't got shit. Do my family and I just take advantage of all the single women and just outproduce while making a ton of money? Thoughts. Cappy, you got nothing. Do my family and I just take advantage of all the single women? Well, how would you and your family, what are you, you want to set up a prostitution ring? What are you talking? What do you mean you and your family takes advantage of the single women? I'm kind of, I mean, if you got nothing, go make money somehow, of which we have copious amounts of resource material, whether you want to go pick bachelor pad economics, worthless. I got my course, The Dad You Never Had, if you're looking for more of a long-term strategic thing. I'll tell you right now, look into accounting. Go major, go to Western Governors University, go cheap. You don't even have to go cheap. Go get your enrolled agents, go get self-educated on QuickBooks, get self-certified, and you're off to the races. And what's a ton? How much do you need to make? You do know that you don't, like, there's no point in making $1 billion. None. You're not going to spend that all. I mean, you might get some ridiculous stuff you're buying, but I'd be aiming for freedom. I'd be aiming like, no, man, I'm doing what I want. I went for a beautiful motorcycle ride yesterday, different road, kind of almost in my backyard. I didn't know about. I mean, if you could take advantage, don't lie, don't cheat. But if you could be like Oprah and you tell women what they want to hear and they're going to give you money, good. Go. That's anybody. If you can be a professor that charges your students $500 to buy your textbook because you offer a popular class, do it. Just don't steal, don't lie. Okay, I take that back. You have to lie to girls because they won't buy anything. They're, hey, you should eat your broccoli and cut your cholesterol down and go on the gym. All right, be fat and listen to Lizzo. That'll be $43. Thank you very much. Nothing's your fault. Vote for me. Raphael Kengusu, 5 reals. Cappy should watch the pro-natalism couple, Malcolm and Simone Collins. They have good arguments. A debate between the both of you would be cool. Would we even disagree, though? I was just on Pearl's show with Paul Elam, some other guy, and Andrew Wilson. And we're mature adults, so we had a conversation. We were like, we disagreed on some things, but it wasn't. Well, it was so nice. It was like, no, I see his point, and you understand each angle everyone's coming at. So would we disagree? Natalism. Natalism means having kids, right? I'm for you all having kids. It just wasn't for me. Just so you know, I personally don't want to. I never wanted to have kids. I wanted to eat and sleep. Yeah, the world doesn't go on without kids. And I like kids as long as they're not mine or my responsibility. What, you're somebody else's kid? Let's feed you full of sugar and give you money, go on adventures, give me hugs, and now I drop you off. You want some balloons? Here's some balloons. You want this? You want this toy? What do you want? There it is. Give me a hug. All right, I'll see you later. What confuses me is how women just, most of them, not all, of course, but how women are like, I want to go and sit in an office at a cubicle instead of raise this little thing. Like the many little things. My quote sort of in-laws, my dating in-laws, or whatever it is. People my age are having little poops now. And these little things, they got opinions and attitudes, and they're fun, and they believe any lie you tell them. And I'm like, how could you not? What is wrong with you women? You'd rather go work than raise this thing. What the hell's wrong with you? And they're only going to be this size for until they're the next size. And then they're going to be adults, and they're not going to have anything to do with you. And then you're like, oh, I should have spent more time with my children. I wonder why women in their late 40s. Do you know how wonderful it is seeing my generation of women like this is like peak antidepressant use for them? Like, oh, I thought you knew everything back in 1989. You had all the right clothes and the shoes and the hairstyles. You were like Miss Popular. You knew everything. Didn't work out 30, 40 years later, huh? Your kid has mental issues too? No. Certainly wasn't the 3 divorces you went through. But at least you made senior vice president. You go, girl. Turtle Peak Gaming. New guy, $5. Pay off 5% solar loan for $37,000 and get back 1/3 back from tax return. Oh, well, okay. You're asking me a question. Pay off. Okay, so your solar loan is 5% and get 1/3 back from tax return. Well, it doesn't matter how you financed your solar panels. You're going to get that 1/3 back if that's what you're talking about. That rebate you get for installing solar panels. You get that no matter how you paid for the solar panels, whether you borrowed it or paid for cash. Paid off 5%, pay off 5% solar loan for 37 and get 1/3 back from tax return, or leaves 37, make it 5% in okay, so you're talking about should you get solar panels? Potential takes. I can't answer it because it's not because I can't provide investment advice or anything like that, though that too. That depends on your electric company and what your reimbursement rates are. That varies. That varies door to door. It all depends who your electric company is, the state you're in, what the rates are. You got to be reimbursed at and everything. So I would go and look at what your electric company will reimburse it for, and then you got to ask, do you get the battery pack with that or not? That's like another 10 or 12 grand. I if you gotta use a loan for it, well, I guess you're using a 5% loan, 5% dividends. The tax incentive really does help. I mean, if you got income to offset, that's another thing. Maybe run that past your CPA. But if you're making $100,000 and you're in an upper income tax bracket, yeah, that leans it more towards the get the solar panels. But as I've said before, I got the solar panels because I don't have faith in the future of millennial young. We're the future. I'm going to major in justice. I was watching Invincible. Finally sat down and be able to watch it. Oh, imagine that. One of the main fields. I hear they got a good social justice program. You worthless piece of shit. You're not going to do anything for society. And so I think more, I don't know about you, but I like having electricity and I want to worry about, and it's not so much that it's going to cut out that all America is going to major in the liberal arts and journalism and economics, and no one's going to be able to turn on the lights. It's going to phase out. And I also am more worried about, as there's less and less people who can maintain the electric grid, that prices of electricity is going to go up. And so I think that's going to go up higher than the rate of inflation, which is another thing that factored into that for me, because I don't want to pay no $300 a month electric bill. What was it? Because I had the hot tub, it's electric, and then my water heater is electric, so I use a lot of electricity. And there were times, like regularly, it's $100. I didn't even include air conditioning. It's like $100 a month. Like, yeah, for me, it was worth it. Did you know, man? $2. Did Cappy pay on dates or go Dutch? Cheers, both. Some women did volunteer. I've pointed that out before. One of the few good things I'll say about the women of my generation is many of them offered. Many of them were making an honest, good go for it. Of course, if daddy's paying for half your shit, yeah, you could offer Dutch. Sure. Yeah, that's great. Oh, gee, thanks. Pie again for $5. All the women who will be childless, and we invest in placating that. Yeah, that's their choice. They made that. My brother and I are in the military. We're looking into RV rental properties. Well, I don't know what that has to do with single moms, but I mean, you could invest in egg fertilization or freezing technology. See, the problem is your guys. If you were girls, like, okay, we're gonna the egg freezing podcast. Hey, girl. Oh my god, let's just get our little thing. Oh my goodness, what's it like today? We have a special guest who's going to share her vag stories. Wisdom Vision Productions, $5. Population decline sounds like natural selection is working properly. Nothing to see here, folks. Back to freaking out over Sniper Wolf doxing Jack. I knew who Sniper Wolf. I didn't know anything. I only knew she was that annoying girl. Every effing video, every time was pop up on I'm like, who is this idiot? I actually thought she was very smart. I'm like, well, she's doing something right, making all that money. And then I only watch It's a Gundam, and now I didn't know she was married, and there was this drama going on. And I heard her talk for once. I'm like, wow, she is dumb. That's a dumb person there. But going back to your natural selection, look, we can't be this fat. I'm not joking. Men can't be this fat. You're going to die off early. But women especially, you cannot be that. That is a huge reason. And women don't want to have kids either because, like, oh my God, scramble the eggs. Dre gave me that one. Oh my God. Oops, I forgot to take the pill. Time to scramble some eggs. Thanks, Doc. It got dark real quick. But being physically unattractive, I mean, what guy? Guys aren't asking us out. Like, yeah, I understand why. And that you can't, I'd love to see obesity, like birth rates versus obesity rates in the Western world. Jenkins, Tree Fitty. Heart Attack Girl is basically Operation Evil. Yes, it is. Have you been to that one in Vegas? Flying Falcon, $2. Where can I find this video of you and Pearl? We just recorded it this morning. I don't think she's uploaded it. She got to go back and edit out all the words that gets her in trouble on the YouTubes. So keep an eye on her. It'll be up there. She said it was going to go on Audacity. So maybe it's just the recording. I don't know if it's the video or not. Pie again, $2. I have a sister. She could be persuaded. Done deal. Well, whatever it is, there's products and then there's services. But and I would avoid products because there's production and delivery and inventory and all that other stuff. Then there's services. And that could be massage services, therapy services, but whatever it is, if you can get on there to say nothing is your fault, it's everyone else's fault, you've done the best, you're wonderful, blatant lies, that you have no production costs, you have no cost of goods sold. All you got to do is think, go watch Matt Hussey, who's actually a genius. He's not wrong. He's very good. He's kind of never mind, because he actually does tell the girls the truth. But he does it in such an Australian accent. Look at me, my goodness, you all want to sleep with me. Oprah. Nothing's your fault. You're all amazing. Blah, blah, blah. Eat and be fat. You only live once. You don't need a man. Meximan and Cheese, $10 generous dollars. Seeing the girls freaking out about the proposed gender neutral draft. I thought that didn't get passed. Truth is, most will get pregnant right before deployment, like volunteer women do now. Only benefit is baby boom, I guess. I don't care. I mean, yeah, I care, but I good women. Wow, women got pregnant to get out of duty. Never heard that before. Sure. Keep making stupid rules. You're going to have people making stupid choices. City Sleuth, $2. It's hard to even find thin women in public. Yeah, well, it's because I looked it up, and It's 60%. I was off, gentlemen. I'm sorry. Although, since I wrote the book and I found that data, maybe it's gone up to 70, but I believe it's 60% of young women. Now, 70 plus percent of all women are overweight, as are men. But the young women, marrying age, that's 60%, 18 to 35, which is it's appalling. It's just disgusting. It's just gross. Ray John, $5. The red pill is now a cesspool, women bashing lowlives. Okay. I wouldn't. Don't worry, they'll come in, they'll go. And they'll be your stalwarts. Will always be here. It's not untrue. Just because somebody decided to pick up the mantle, like, oh my God, hey guys, I'm a TradCon wife. Oh my God, here's my ample bosom, and I'm in a flowery spring dress. They'll go away. Universal coordinate, 15 generous Australian dollars. Hey, Cappy, most women love and care for their dogs and cats, whether they're single, married, or have children. Do they? It's a disgrace, and I'm in Melbourne, by the way. That is also a disgrace. I've known many people, not just women, who don't potty train their pets, and they have their pets living in little apartments that, dogs shouldn't be in little apartments. Maybe cats all right on, but do they really love their pets if they're forcing them through that kind of a living situation? I don't know if they I think it's I want. That's why women go with cats more than they do dogs, although the dog mom thing has become a thing. But in my day, it was cats because cats required less work. Stanton, $5. Why should anyone be concerned with population since of our control anyway? Right. I get a kick out of let's make women insufferable and lippy and nothing shy. I know I'm stretching a little bit, but just shy of teaching young women to hate men. Oh, they're oppressing you and then I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe they're not making the babies. We gotta pay them. Like France and all these, we'll pay you to have children. I got an idea. How about you not divide the sexes and pit them against each other? And could you maybe do a public awareness campaign to make people thin and sexy again? I don't know if you all know how sex works, but usually you got to want to be able to fuck them before the children come along. Like, this thing needs to get erect. Sorry, I know. Oh, go clutch your pearls, you modern day incarnations of uber right Christian 80s people. But men need to get erect to have babies happening. Well, we technically don't. We got the sperm bank. Okay, fine. Just I'm going to be dead in 35 years. I'm not going to care. But yes, you're all right. We shouldn't worry about Osama Abdu, $2. Salute AC. Lives are getting more and more popular. Lives are getting more. Lives are getting more and more popular. Lives. Like, as opposed to deaths, like people are, I guess living has always been a much more popular option than dying. But yes, lives are, I hope so. Yeah. I hope they're not getting less and less popular. Pie again, $5. Be Oprah, copy. Well, you don't have to follow my exact, just look, walk the earth like Cain and pay attention. And an opportunity should present itself for if you're looking for it. Keep a keen eye and know human nature. All right. Low calorie donuts. There's a perfect example. So a regular donut has 500 calories. You make one that has 478 and a low calorie donut and goes like, oh my goodness, nom, 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 hork, hork, hork. These are low calorie donuts. I'm going to lose weight. I mean, but, it was like asshole consulting. I didn't like, oh yeah, this logically makes sense. The stars kind of align and then you get up on a mountaintop and you kind of look, you're like, hey, that's happening over there, and this is happening over there. I bet you I can make that happen over there. But just keep an eye open. I mean, Oprah's got the daytime, the daytime talk show and but it could be passive. Just go invest in egg freezing publicly traded firms or index fund if they happen to have something like that. Wisdom Vision Productions, $5. A girl was recently interested in this black short king. I told her I don't. Oh, okay, you. Told her I don't date overweight women. Wisdom. Take a wild guess how she reacted. Did you tell her to her face? Because I'd say she probably hit you. But if it was over the interwebs, she didn't. Wisdom, if it's on the internet, you got to send me the screenshot, man. Send me the screenshot. Of course. How dare you introduce truth and reality women? See, Wisdom, you're doing the opposite of Operation Evil. You're doing Operation Good, technically. You're trying to help her out. You're doing Operation Truth. That doesn't work. Operation Truth, you don't even get the planes out of the hangar before they blow up on the tarmac. You're doing it the wrong way. Just a good rule is to never tell women the truth. Just never tell them the truth. Green Schwartzer, 10 generous dollars. Absolutely one of the biggest deterrences to me dating, even when I go out, finding a not fat chick is hard, just kills any drive to even try. Then unfortunately dating girls isn't fun anymore as a group. Well, I remember when I was young, we go to these dances. They were all age dances, like when you're in high school or something. You didn't have to be 21 or 18 even. Oh, there was a ton of cute girls. Oh man, whoa. It was great. But I thought, and that was a normal thing for a population for all of human history. And now, like, oh, Cappy, get a little side piece and ain't a little cute girly girl action. Like, no, no. Like in principle, I'm not even necessarily against it. But then when you look, now admittedly, I'm in South Dakota, you look around like, where, what? And then I've been trying to set up Great One and another buddy of mine at poker. And it's provided me a little insight because I inquire, I'll see a cute girl. I'm like, oh, I'll ask, like, are you single? And, oh, Jesus. I have a friend. He's about your age, maybe. Oh, no, I have a boyfriend. And the more modern one is like, I'm not looking to date anyone, right? Okay, look. They're visually disturbed that I like, okay, never mind. And so now let's imagine Cappy was going to go out and find a little side piece. The work involved, like, no, no, there's not that many. And I especially Reen, I think you're not my age, but you're not 23 anymore. As you get old, you just don't have time for that stuff. And I'm thinking like, I'm asking for my buddy, and even I'm getting tired. What's it like now? Then you go back to, it's like getting a flashback to Vietnam. Oh God, then I got to pick them up. Then there's going to stand it. Then you got to talk to them. Like, oof, they got One Piece, the human version on the video games or the Amazon now. Maybe I'll just stay and watch that. Yeah, it is demoralizing. You need a reason to go to war, and fat chicks don't pull it off. Osama Abdu, $2. AC, your live streams are getting more and more popular. Oh, okay. Yes, thank you. I hope we got 500 showing up now. I actually think what it is I've been backing off. I haven't done like regular videos regularly. So this is just pent up demand because I'm trying to bang out the book, which I'm only a chapter and a third away from finishing. So right there. Jakin 666. Euros. Wisdom couldn't say it behind her back as he only had half a tank of gas. It's a good one, Jenkins. This is a good one. All right, Wisdom Vision Productions get $5. It was to her face. Oh, really? No handprints were applied to my face, thankfully. Feelings were definitely hurt. Well, she should have been a fat pig. My God, these girls. I remember. Let me tell you. Then I got to get going. I remember there was this gal, and our personalities, like, hey, and she had that face where you look like underneath all that fat is a hot woman. And she really wanted to go out with me. And she had the balls to ask, like, well, do you ever want to get together? I'm like, no, not really. Like, well, why? I say you're overweight. I mean, if you lost the weight, and she wouldn't talk to me then after that. Like, her feelings were, it's like, look, you can lose the weight. You know, that I'm not a logician, but it would seem to me that's an option. Like, you can lose the weight. We could have this great life together. Well, I don't know if we would have had a great life together. She lost 20, 30 pounds. Like everything else, it's like, all you got to do is stop putting food in your fucking mouth. Like the hard part, I mean, the is getting personalities aligned. I'm like, well, we got chemistry, but all you have to do is go outside and play and stop putting fucking food in your mouth. Nope. Wouldn't talk to me ever again. And da da da. I'm like, wow, you girls just love that food and you fear hard work that much. Okay. I guess. Feelings are definitely hurt, though. Operation Brutal Honesty is in full effect. Look, I'm serious about, not that I wasn't serious about the other stuff. You do nothing for your fellow man, woman, human being, lying to them. All right. Why are white chicks so miserable? Because all they do is lie to each other. Of course, that could probably be told of any chicks, but they all lie to each other. They believe their own bullshit. Then they're 48, spinsters, no kids, no life, divorced, fat, miserable, life wasted. Right? You tell your buddy if he has bad breath, hey, your breath stinks. You're not going to say why, because you want them to do good. And brutal honesty, that if men were to be honest with women like you, like imagine every woman had that interaction, or let's say every woman had 3 of those interactions. Got like, no, you're too fat. No, you're too fat. No, you're too fat. Or you have another man's kid or whatever else. If they had that in the real world, that sting, a communal intelligence or wisdom or knowledge would start being built. And like, wow, they're really not liking us fat chicks, which to me, I'm like, was there a point in time we did? Where did you think that it was ever a thing? And I don't know if there's enough pain, they'll change. I think have to be a lot of pain. All right, that's it. Link below. Enjoy the decline. Also open, the minimalism course is open. I forgot to mention that. It's open until I finish the book, which should be another week. So sign up for that now. Yeah, I'm pretty much, oh, that's right. We got 31 days. I think before Halloween, I'll have it done. It won't be published, but I'll have it done. And then the course will close. And then there's other courses, Achieving Financial Excellence and The Dad You Never Had, both available on Teachable. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.